All right, we have another 5v5 scrim for Omega Series. This is almost the full team. I think they need to swap out one person for Lovish. Lovish is actually in the lobby, but he's working. So let's look at some starts. It looks like P1 is going to do the forefront, one back, which I definitely think could be, I think might end up being more standard. It could take a little bit to backfill these mexes. I assume Poly will backfill these, but we'll see. And blue team is going to do more or less the same, but Austin is going to pick a little bit more of a central position. What up, Regeki? All right. Regeki joined, but he can't talk. He says he can only watch. So they're going to swap. Poly's going to take a backline position. He played backline air in that last Rosetta game too. So I wonder if he's going to be kind of their designated LDM, a player but not a player, in back spamming figs and handing away all of his resources to the better players on his team. But hey, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Not everyone can do the LDM like LDM does. He's a two-time champion though, so it's taken him quite far. I think we all know. So we got Poly as core, Sargeras as core, MasterBel as arm, P1 Killer as arm, and Stud Banana as arm. So quite a bit of arm. Sash is also going to be arm. Zhao is going to go core V, which I think is a little bit less common, although in 5v5s is going to be different. I haven't seen very many 5v5s on ATG, so you kind of have to wonder how it's going to play out. Austin with the V Lab start in back. I like this. I mean, that move speed for sir, that is too many constructors. So already a pretty big difference here, right? We're going to see an Air Lab start similar to what they did on Rosetta versus the greedier V Lab start. But I guess we're going to find out momentarily who is going to be able to pull this off. It seems like in the games that we've seen so far, the Air Lab start needs to get a lot of damage done. It really needs like the bomb to accomplish quite a bit. So I guess we'll see. And initial scouts out from Zhao. So core V open. I feel like with the size of ATG, you're probably gonna need an incisor start? Maybe not. What's everyone making here? So we got what? Cons, grunts, lots of cons, mainly just rovers and ticks. Incisors coming out from Sargeras though, so early incisors should be able to get quite a bit done. I guess we'll see. The rover survives, outranges the tick, and is going to keep going, but is going to get caught by another rover. I tap this one, he says. Unclear why he's tapping and not completing them. So far, it's looking relatively simple. The other one benefit, I guess, is that all these air cons can backfill these mexes relatively quick, but I don't think it's going to be faster than multiple V cons, right? I mean, all of these V cons, one, are going to have just way more BP and way more E production. So I guess we'll see kind of how it ends up playing out. Ooh, we are missing a fight here. My bad. So ticks are going to clean up those rovers. They can't abuse their speed in Canyon, and a lot of arm bot starts. I'm curious if people are actually want to stay with it or if they just want to open for the ticks and then go from there. But look at all of these mexes. They've already backfilled these, and we still see kind of huge swatches that aren't claimed. Just look at that economic advantage. It feels like similar to last game on Rosetta, blue team is just incredibly competent at taking mexes as soon as possible. And this might be a little bit of a rough critique for the air start, I think. I feel like maybe the air start isn't quite what we thought it would be or quite what they thought it would be. And if you aren't going to bomb with it or abuse Shuris right away, backfilling mexes just doesn't make a lot of sense if you're going to do it with air cons. But I guess we'll see. Little posturing back and forth, hanging out, doing what we can here. And MasterBel's going to come up. That radar sees actually quite a bit. Pyro up here. And he's going to radar there. I feel like that's such a weird place for radar. Why would you radar there instead of like there? Kind of anywhere else. So radar goes down. He's going to take it. MasterBel with another forward radar. He is truly a disciple of Zhao. And a little blitz raid in from Sash. So he's got rovers, he's got blitz, but they're gonna run into the pawns and the ticks, and they're not gonna be able to get too much done. They do see all of these, but looks like Zhao is telling Sash he wants him to just walk his way in. But we still see some of these uncapped mexes here, and Geo is almost done for, well, not almost done, but Geo is at least being built for Pyro. So again, this economic advantage is looking a little bit scary. Zhao bullying a little bit with his commander. And blitz gets through. Can it get one? It does get surrounded by rovers. It's two. Gonna get another max maybe though. Oh, whoa. Chisato with a little rare miss micro there, and he does get the max, which at least is a bit of economic damage. And they get a few more incisors into the back. This is super value. One gets eaten right away, and the other one does get the max at least, and he's gonna self-D. Does it get it off? Oh, almost gets it off, but doesn't deny the medal. So feels like the front is kind of established. There's a little bit of poking, but this is kind of where a basic 8v8 front starts anyway, right? So now it's gonna be about scaling and T2 timing. And what do we have for T2? We don't have any labs going down yet. What about on the blue side? It's gonna look like no. Austin did swap into air though. Look at this wind farm though. This man is this is an agrarian man right here. This man knows how to farm. So a little bit less standard than the normal 8v8. It seems like now we're seeing a lot of these vehicle transitions. Once they established the front with bots, they just wanted the ticks to kind of set the tone, and now they can do everything else. But Canyon does have bots, and Centurions are going to shred this whole push here. These are Bantana's walls, right? Yeah. So he's going to eat those there. Janus are going to come up and he absorbed the shot actually pretty well with the tick. Now he can just walk. Oh, don't get D-gun. It's going to be close. Super close. And all these incisors coming in from the left here, so we're seeing quite a bit of core V on this, which is interesting. Can these actually pierce in and get more done? Poly got some beautiful D-guns there. Ooh, he's a little low though. Is there? Oh, he's getting a jammer. I feel like once that jammer's done, 2 jammers. When that jammer's done, there's always that risk of the kind of the comm walk over there. And Whistler transition from Chisato, so we just got Whistler Janus with a few stouts mixed in, and doesn't really want to connect. His comm is just tanking the damage now. Banana needs to be really careful. He's gonna back up. It's cloaked. He has to know it's cloaked though, right? Ooh, P1's comm goes down. Killa. Mistakes were made, boys. Oh no. And MasterBel goes down too, just to the whistlers whistling away. So T2 core is done, and then they're gonna transport these around. So opting for the core V, and MasterBel's team opted for the ARM V. The real question is, do we think in 5s Tiger's Fame is going to be more value? And I'm not 100% sure it is over Bulls, because you're going to have way more metal, right? I feel like you might be able to outproduce it, but who knows? Zhao's comm needs to be really careful. Nice D-gun, but it's going to die to shell shockers of all things. And Shellies are going to have to back up. Uh-oh. So Banana's comm is here. Where's the cloak? All right, we got a good cloak. He needs to be really careful. Yeah, and then I think he just walks at him through Canyon, no? Poly's comm was here, but I almost feel like Poly's commander needs to just cut off these reinforcements. We got ships coming in here, and they're gonna try to hold this, but just like AV8s, it looks like Canyon is gonna fall first. Sash is gonna be able to cook away, but we do have Jags. Jag versus Brute, or Jag versus Stout, is just not a great matchup, especially with Janus involved, though. So this is looking a little rough. I think the wind farm is actually such a critical part of this economic advantage. Look at the lack of wind here. Poly just spamming B solars on 20 metal a second. I think this is where you probably want the ARM. This is actually where the ARM V start is so nice, because you get all those cons to spam, and you can take all those mexes a little bit faster. Poly dropping the walls left, right, and center. So they were able to wall this off, but they're so far behind economically. It's kind of a repeat of the Rosetta game, or the command center game. And Sash wants to push. He's still collecting all these units, but now he's going to start chipping away at the walls, which makes sense. Comm is just going to backfill all of these mexes. Polygon is here, but he doesn't have an E-store, so cloaking is going to be quite difficult. A lot of units on this side, and it is Tiger. Straight Tiger. Grunts are doing a bit, but if they stay grouped, the Janus are just going to eat them up. We do see a nice little wraparound from this side with the Jags, but I think once the Tigers get here, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. Tigers on the front are just going to start chipping away. And Killa's... Anyway, yeah, it looks like Sash should be able to just win this. He's running straight through, and this economic advantage is absolutely insane. look at all of this. That's like 7,000. I mean, basically that entire difference is just in their wind. So I think that's something that a lot of teams need to focus on, is just spamming this out. Regeki with some suspicious comments. And Pyro's just been living the chill life, hasn't he? I feel like Chisato's been fighting his lane, and he's been doing something. This is one of those great, like, guess the OS moments where you're like, is this a 40 OS player or is this a 10 OS player? Who knows? I think what are the big takeaways from this game, really, though? I think the biggest takeaway for me is really just how critical wind spam is. I think a lot of the P1 and stud players don't play a lot of ATG, so they're just not used to it. Okay, that was sick from Sargeras. Gets the snipe. What a homie. I'm gonna try to snipe Sash's calm. Jags are picking away. He's gonna get degunned. Gets degunned. Oh. 22 HP. Where's the Banshee? Where's the Banshee? Poly, for those of you who don't know, had a solid 6 months where he was an Armada Air player, and it was definitely an interesting 6 months. This is Boom Geo? Oh my god, this is Boom Geo. Is it worth it? I think you want to get it low and then split the forces, right? Yeah. I don't know if that was... I mean, it was worth it, but I feel like you should have just kept one and kept going. But great job from Sargeras here, right? Snipes the calm and sneaks in people, but Austin is ready. We got the abductors. And they're holding a little bit here still. This is... it's a lot of pounders, ladies and gentlemen. That is 3 T1 labs spamming pounders. Abductors lost. Yes, abductors. This is a Empire lobby, so abductors are slightly different. We got a sweet citizen's arrest too. Good work, boys. Good work. So, kind of the story of the previous games, right? Just the lack of scaling, and man, that is... it's a little bit more than a difference now because we've got fusions and everything else down. But I think this pounder push might be all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of rovers, though. Unfortunately, there's 5 beamers just ready. So here comes the push straight down. Zhao is pounders on repeat with some tigers, and I think he had a banisher mixed in as well. But it's got the tankiness, and they're just gonna do what they can do. Shredding. Good lord. So blue team is gonna take another. And here come the figs for some... oh, they want to try to... I guess maybe they want to try to snipe all the AA and then the abductors can come in, but that is not going to happen. This is quite a wreck field. If they weren't so far behind it, so this might be a bit of a throw, but I just don't think they have it in them economically to recover from this. Chisato making tremors. Unfortunately, I kind of feel like higher OS teams are just gonna lol cannon rush this, right? Because like they're at what? They're at 26E right now. I'm pretty sure you could have, you know, like that's what you would need, basically what you would need to fire a lull. And the wind is even at max. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of pork into lull cannon. This is such a narrow map. But look at Austin scaling in back compared to Poly, right? It was like at whatever, four minutes or so, that separation was just insurmountable, it felt like.